Hi, Joyce Edison here, joyceedison.com. So, do you have a problem? And you know, it's funny when you ask this question because everybody alive have something that is problematic to them, right? And it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how little money you have, it doesn't matter how much people you have working for you or not. Most people have something in their life that they consider a problem. So, there are many problem solving tricks and tips and strategies. Everybody goes about solving their problems differently. I've been a conflict analyst for 21 years, and doing this work that I do, I see a lot of people with conflicts and problems. And when I have a problem, I'm going to share with you 5 things I do to solve my problems quickly. And this is my strategy, this is my take on it. So hopefully it helps you. So the first thing that I do is I ask myself, why is this a problem? Why? Why is this a problem? Why am I seeing it as a challenge? And what do I want to do about it? So once you do that, you get some answers. You start thinking, is this a problem? Is it, I often say don't make a molehill a problem. So if something is really not an issue, don't dramatize it. Just like, well, I'd prefer if this doesn't happen, but it's not a problem. So a problem is something that's in the way of you getting something that you want. And if that's a problem that you're having, then how do you remove it? Is it a real problem? Is it a legitimate problem? And if so, how do you deal with it? That's what you need to ask yourself. So once you identify that it is a legitimate problem, right? It is legitimate, right? So it's legitimate. Then what are you going to do about it? Well, that's where we go into the next step, because we want to ask ourselves, what is the opposite of that? Right? So if I didn't have this problem, what would I have instead? What would be the solution? What would be the outcome that I would prefer to having what I have right now? Right? And I mean, all of us are thinking, oh, I would rather have this. But do we really want that? And I think that's what we have to ask ourselves. Really? Do you really kind of want that? Is that the right thing for you? So ask yourself that question. What is it you would have? What would be the opposite? What would you transfer that for? Or what would you exchange it for? So ask yourself that question. Then of course, you're going to ask yourself to come up with 3 or 4 reasons. So you want 3, I sometimes do 5, right? 3 or 5 options or solutions. So this is almost like a brainstorming. It's like brainstorming, right? So what are the 3 to 5 things I can do to solve this problem? What are the 3 to 5 opportunities here that I can face, that I can use to solve this problem? And once you do that, you start asking your brain question. I'm a coach, and once we start asking our brains question, it starts giving us answer. So you notice all the things I'm doing is asking questions. You keep asking questions of your brain, and sometimes it's good to even ask the questions and go have a nap or go to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, the answers just start falling into your brain. It's just like, oh, okay, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And that I use that a lot because it's very helpful for me. Once I quiet down and I'm not thinking about anything, then my brain starts dropping all the answers. And so sometimes I'm like writing, like I'll have like 10 pages of notes that I've just written down because my brain is starting to give me the answer. So it's really, really good exercise to do. So you ask yourself, what could go wrong with those solutions? So you go for each one, you want to sort of make a list. And so you want to put the pros and you want to put the cons. And you want to say, okay, so each of the options that I've come up with. So if my problem is I need a new pair of shoes to wear with my dress, but I can't find the right color. So then I was like, okay, so I go, sometimes what I do is I take pictures and I'll send to my daughter. I was like, well, this is this dress, these shoes, what do you think? And get somebody else to give you ideas. So you put the list down and you write your things down, right? So I pull out the shoes that I have and I start thinking, what will it go with? Dress here. And then I put my dresses. What a problem to have, right? And then I start lining them up and I take pictures and I'm sending them. So what do you think? And oh, this doesn't go, or this. And so you start getting answers. So then you're like, okay, why doesn't this work? Well, maybe it's too loud, right? This maybe is too loud, not a good match, right? So this would be some cons, right? And it is a shoe, I could wear it. It's a dress, I could wear it. It's a good thing, like, that's a pro. But it's not the right color, right? Not right color. So we could do that. So you go down the list and you write the good things about each one of them. So you do that for each of your 5 options, and then you weigh. So you strike off. When you look at the cons, you said, okay, too loud, okay, that's off. Good match, not a good match, not the right color. So then you go for the ones that are, well, I can wear this, I can wear that, and you pick the ones that are, you pick more of the pros. You pick the ones that have more pros and less cons. And then you're going to ask yourself, which of these make the best sense? Which of these make me feel better about the situation? Which of these make me feel that I am satisfying that need that I have, or it's going to answer the problem, but it's also aligned with my values. And that's one of the things that I see a lot of, is that when people have problems, they go to a solution that's not aligned with their values. You have to remember who you are. So when you're problem solving, ask yourself, can I live with this solution? Does that look like me? Does it feel like me? Is it in alignment with who I am, my values, my purpose, who I identify in myself, the brand that I want? Is this the legacy that I want to leave behind? So you have to ask yourself these things before you pick a solution to your problem. I think this is an area that most people forget. They just pick the fastest answer or something that looks good, and they just, make do. And then later on, I will hear from them, oh, I did this, I made this choice, it wasn't a good choice, and now I'm paying the consequences. So what ends up happening is that you actually have a bigger problem than you started out with, because the solution you picked to your problem is not a good fit. It's actually an expensive fit that's not working for you. So I want to encourage you to do that. Think about it and make solutions, take options that are in alignment with who you are, your values, and what you want to get out of life. Take care, joyceedison.com. Thanks for stopping by, and go solve that problem and solve it well. Bye now.